Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Monday Masters. Hope you're having a phenomenal new year. My guest today is going to be Latonda James with Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust, MIDI. Great program. Looking to hear a lot more about it. So, Latonda, thank you again for coming out
Thank you for
to
having
Monday
me.
Masters. Tell us a little bit about your role at the organization Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust, otherwise known as MIDI. Tell us a little bit about your role there.
Okay, so I am the HAP, which is our Homeownership Assistance Program, the HAP Outreach and Training Coordinator.
Okay.
And so what I'm responsible for is basically getting the word out.
Fantastic.
Informing the community about this wonderful program, letting people know that homeownership is doable. It is possible.
Absolutely.
We do understand that sometimes people, the first thing they think about is, I just don't have the money.
Right.
Or I don't have enough money. So
right.
We're there to fill in that gap.
That gap. Okay.
And just in addition to that, we're there to provide resources and other information for them to let them know that it is possible.
It is possible. Fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about the history of the program and your experience so far with it as well. So, tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, first of all, the organization Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust, we are a government entity. We were created mid-'80s as a result of the McDuffie. Someone told me it wasn't a riot, but mostly a rebirth. Okay. And so basically our organization was created to address the issues of Black parity in Miami-Dade County. One of the issues back then that still continues now is understanding that a path to create wealth for many families is through home ownership.
Absolutely.
And so one of the programs that was created is the HAP program because the need was there, continues to be there, that folks just needed a little bit of assistance, financial assistance to get into to become homeowners, to get into becoming a true, what should I say, a true owner of their space.
Great.
And so this program was created to help individuals to obtain home ownership.
Okay. And so I know we're going to get into a little bit about the guidelines. I've worked with the program for over 25 years, and it's a phenomenal program. We've at PRMG have been able to help a tremendous amount of individuals that are looking to hopefully get a little bit of down payment and closing cost assistance to kind of supplement and bridge that gap to home ownership. So once again, I'm really glad to have you here. So tell us a little bit about the guidelines of the program and the amounts of the subsidies, and is it a grant or is it a loan? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so our funding, one good thing is that our program, where most of the times you hear people say down payment assistance.
Yes.
The one good thing with Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust and the Homeownership Assistance Program is that you can use our dollars for down payment or closing cost. So that's one good thing. Another thing is that our ratios, as far as the number of people or the type of person that we assist, is it's much more. It encompasses a larger amount of people. So normally when people think of any type of assistance programs, they automatically think lower income.
Right.
Where for us, we go up to 140% of the area median income.
It's fantastic.
And so for Miami-Dade County, that means your workforce community. So that's your teachers, your law enforcement officers, corrections, those types of careers. Though most of those individuals are eligible for our dollars. Now, because of the different guidelines, the two different subsidy amounts are $4,750 up to $7,250. So if you fall between, or if you're 80% or below. So for instance, I'm going to just give you a little
I know you brought some information for us here as well, and we'll kind of share this with the viewers a little bit later as well on the screen. But go ahead.
So for instance, if it's a family size of 2, so if your total household income did not exceed $54,200, then you would be eligible to receive up to $7,250.
Which is the max, and that is a forgivable grant after how many years?
So it's a forgivable second mortgage.
Great.
So the way that works is you have to remain in the home for at least 10 years.
Okay.
The goal with our program is not for the investor.
Right.
We are seeking to create homeowners.
Absolutely.
So we're not looking for people who want to just buy a house and live in it for 1 or 2 years and flip it. That's not the goal of this program. We're seeking to assist people who want to become homeowners.
Okay.
So you remain in the home for 10 years, and this is a forgivable second.
Okay.
Or third. So we can kind of get into it a little later, but it's just the placement of where it falls.
Right, as lien positions.
As lien positions, correct.
Okay.
But it is a forgivable mortgage.
Fantastic.
Second mortgage.
So you talked about the 80%, but you also had earlier mentioned the 140%. So for that example of the family size of 2, I see here the chart goes up to 94,920.
Correct.
For a family size of 2 at 140% AMI.
Correct.
That's fantastic, right?
Right. So at that amount, if you are up to that amount, but above the 54,200, then you are eligible to receive up to 4,750. And so I'm saying up to because, once again, the little nuances could change, but you may not need 4,750.
Correct.
You may only need 4,000.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying up to.
Right.
And so I don't want anybody to say, well, it's 4,750, but then they come and speak to you,
right,
and you do the calculations, and you're like, well, no, all you need is say $4,000.
Exactly.
So those two amounts, but the maximum for the higher income is 4,750. The maximum for the lower income brackets is 7,250.
Okay. And just to clarify, this program, the mdeat program, is specifically for Miami-Dade County residents, correct?
Correct. Miami-Dade County residents only. And you can purchase a home in any of the municipalities in Miami-Dade County. So going down as far south as Goulds, all the way up to Miami Gardens.
Fantastic.
Yes,
So that's great. So we talked about it being a forgivable grant. We're going to share some of the income chart eligibility here as well. What has made your program work so well?
Well, honestly, it's because of people like you.
Thank you.
It's because of the loan officers. It's because of the closing agents. It's because of the realtors informing and educating.
Absolutely.
And not everyone does that.
Correct.
There are a lot of industry professionals who are just seeking to close. They're just wanting to have a client and receive a check at the end of the closing.
Right.
But then you have those individuals such as yourself and your other colleagues who are actually looking to assist the first-time home buyer, and for us that's what makes a difference, and that's why we're specific with who we partner with and who are certified to actually do our program. And so for us, while we do provide these dollars, the consumer would not actually come to us directly. They would come to you to you say, okay, I found a home, I'm going to go and see Mark. Mark will then assist me with the entire loan process. Including receiving down payment assistance and our closing costs, and not just from us. You provide the assistance for other programs as well.
Correct. And we package everything on behalf of the consumer, and then when we know that they meet the requirements and the eligibility requirements, we'll then package everything together, bank statements, pay stubs, and that type of information that is being reviewed by the program, and then submit that package to the program for their final review as well.
Right. And one other good thing about our program is because you can layer our dollars.
Yep.
And so, for instance, if your seller is contributing money towards your closing, or the mortgage company decides to contribute money toward either a down payment or a closing, you can still use our dollars. Or, for instance, if you decide to purchase a home in the city of Miami, the city of Miami may have money, and you can layer our dollars with those other programs. And so sometimes what we hear from consumers is that their realtor may have tried to dissuade them from utilizing this program, saying, okay, well, no, this program will give you dollars, or we can find some other program to give you some dollars. That's great. Let them give you those additional dollars, but still, these funds are here. If you qualify, if you meet the criteria, then go ahead. And they say, okay, well, you have enough for the closing. That's fine. You can then take these dollars and pay down the first mortgage amount by using it to help you on the down payment end.
Absolutely. I
so
like that.
Only knowledgeable individuals like yourself. We've talked about those type of situations where you've helped consumers layer those dollars, that it's better for them in the long run, because I try to explain to people, don't think about just what you see at the closing. Think about if you took that loan, or for our second mortgage amount, just say $4,750, Amortize that with the interest over 30 years. Think about it that way.
That way, exactly.
Think about it that way. For when someone says, oh, no, don't worry about it. You don't need it.
Right.
Well, think about if you had it.
Right.
You don't have to use everything you need.
Exactly.
There's some things that you...
work.
Right.
Okay,
right.
good. So then... I know some of the other programs have sales price caps.
Correct.
What is your sales price cap or your loan amount cap?
Right. So that's another little tricky nuance. For us, we do not have a sales price cap.
Okay.
We have a first mortgage cap.
Okay.
So the first mortgage amount cannot exceed $271,050. So people are like scratching their head. So that means the house is $280,000.
Okay.
You put down $8,000 or $9,000. So now your first mortgage amount is $271,50.
Got it.
Or below that,
or
$271,50.
Yeah.
So it's not the sales price. And then once again, that's where you're layering those other programs that you may be eligible for. Once again, to bring down that mortgage amount.
Right.
And they would come to you or another qualified professional who would then go through all of that with them. But for us, it's the first loan amount. The maximum is $271,050.
$50. So one of the things that I've known from the program and also from some of the real estate agents is, when's the next training? I want to get on board. I want to be able to participate. And I know there's some wonderful things coming in the future as it relates to the mdeat program. So can you tell us about that for some of the other lender partners out there, but also for some of the real estate agents and title companies that are really looking to probably participate in 2020?
So in 2020, we are now utilizing a request for qualifications process.
Okay.
And so because we are in the midst of that process, I can advise interested professionals to visit our website.
Great.
To get additional details, because we are going to do the RFQ, request for qualifications process, in order to select a new group of professionals, loan officers and title companies and or closing agents who will then be certified with our program.
That's phenomenal, because I know that a lot of the title companies and real estate agents are looking to really kind of share as much information as possible, but also want to be certified like we are as a lender and our loan officers are here as well.
Correct.
So last question, and that was, you guys, you're a master in this space, and so I want to talk a little bit about what are some of the great statistics that you can probably share with us a little bit of what happened probably in 2019, and where you kind of hopefully also see the numbers hopefully increasing in 2020.
Well, we closed about 300 loans in 17-18, in the fiscal year of 2017-18. We're still calculating our numbers for the 2018-19 fiscal year, but we are running around about 300.
Great.
That's 300 individuals that we have assisted to become homeowners. When you look at that, that's assisting a family.
Yeah.
I like to explain to people, don't think about home ownership just from your standpoint, especially if you have children.
Yeah.
Think about it as a legacy. You are creating wealth. You're creating a legacy for your family.
Agreed.
And so when we're able to assist residents to make that step, then that's 300 people who have utilized our dollars. And a lot of them utilized other subsidy programs in addition to our dollars to make it work, to make it happen.
Fantastic.
One other question that people always ask us about is credit. What's the credit score to partake of the HAP program? For us, there is no credit score. You do not have to have a particular credit score to utilize our program. That does not mean that your loan officer or that particular loan product does not require a particular credit score. But for our program, there is no particular credit score.
Okay.
No.
Fantastic. Listen, it was a pleasure, really, truly having you on board.
Thank you so very much.
Tell my good friend Eric Johnson I said hello.
Yes, definitely
as
so.
well. And looking forward to hopefully having you back at another time as well. But thank you for sharing a lot of this information. We are going to post this information on the various social media sites as well, and share as much knowledge and information as possible to be able to promote the program, because as Latonda mentioned, it's helped several individuals, and we want to make sure that in 2020 first-time home buyers are really accessing as much subsidy dollars as they need in order to make their transaction work. So thank you so much, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.